Well, hey folks. So, back with a little more cavern stuff. I'm going to continue on with, with mine that I've been working up for my party. One of the areas that they're going to run into is got a stream, or a couple streams actually. So I thought I would do a continue along the vein and just do some do a stream that you might encounter in a cavern. I'll be using the same color palette that I used earlier in my other cavern terrain videos. If you haven't seen those, please give them a look. But for right now, I'm gonna keep this very low profile. I'm not gonna try and do a resin pour with all that. I'll probably use water effects or maybe the still water from Woodland Scenics. We'll get more into that here in a little bit. But for right now, I'm just gonna do a basic layout and see what this is gonna look like. I have an idea of about how wide I want it to be, and I'm keeping in mind that because I'll use this on the battle mat, that I'll be using 1 inch is equal to 5 feet, so I'll take that into consideration when I'm doing my little stream sections here. So I've got what is this? 9 by 12, I think it is. No, it's 12 by 12 sheet of graphics medium chipboard. So I'm going to keep it probably about, let's keep it about 3 inches wide, and get my hands to work. We'll do about 3 inches wide. Let's go ahead and make it. We'll go ahead and make it 4 inches wide, and this will give me about another ½ an inch or so on each side to use for actual. Where's that? There. To use that for our actual sculpting and that type thing. And so my actual water part will be right in here. So I'm going to go ahead and just get this thing laid out real quick. So if we'll half this, I'll go about 6 inches for that. So it'd be a 30-foot section. Yeah, screw it. Let's do that. Because actually I think, let's go ahead and do the half one. So yeah, we'll do a 6-inch section. It'd be easier to just right about there-ish. I'm not going to worry so much about exacts with this. The idea is for it to be a thing of interest for the party, and not necessarily worrying about things being uber exact. Because the only person who knows exactly what it's supposed to be is me. So I've always said you can do whatever you want in terrain making, because the only person who really knows what's going on is you. So for right now, I've got this stuff, and what I think I'm going to do, I've got some thinner pink XPS foam, and I think I want to try laying something in kind of like that, and I want to sculpt it down so I get kind of a more rounded look to it. And like I did before, I'm going to use some hot glue to hold the pieces down, and then I'll get in here with some the spackle to fill in to cut away that hard line and texture and stuff. This is a pretty standard way of doing this. Give it a little bit of interest there. Adds a little bit of play of the wrist, and you get yourself some neat looking contours and stuff on that. So kind of just like that, just a little bit of play of the wrist, and got some little channels and all that type of stuff. So all that good stuff. A little flat piece I don't want there. There we go. So yeah, I'm just gonna continue doing that, and then all right. So there we go. We got there we go. You got a couple of areas for Bob to explore. Height's pretty decent. You know, again, it's just adding to the immersion factor of the game. That's really what it comes down to, honestly. I'm going to go through and hit these things with a rock and get some texture on them, and then throw on some. I went ahead and did the Mod Podge, did some sand and ground cork to kind of give it that, like the rest of the cavern terrain type of look. I'm just going to go through and do my stone colors, and then we'll go through. And I was debating, or been kind of trying to work through what I'm going to do for the water colors. Maybe I had just like a little bit of a blue-gray kind of color, and maybe just a little bit of like a lighter blue. We'll get there. Come back to that here in a little bit. So anyway, I'm just going to go through and start doing my stone colors. Okay, I am going to let that dry for a bit, but now I'm going to go through and hit that thing with a black wash, or hit those with the black wash to kind of tamp down the colors, kind of give it that nice cavern hue, and then go in there and do a dry brush, and then I'll go through and do the watercolors and stuff. So for right now, that's the kind of stage I'm going to leave it at. So I've got my colors laid out here. I've got a, what is this? Sailing blue. It says Craft Smart Sailing Blue color. I'm going to add a little bit of gray to it to kind of desaturate the tone. I think that's the right way to put it. But basically I'm going to make it less bright. Yeah, desaturate. Yeah, that's it. And this will be my base layer to go over top of everything that I've done so far. And then I'm going to come over top of this with a bit of pale blue. And we'll see how that looks. And then I've got my water effects that'll go over top of all that to give it the water look. I toyed with the idea of doing a resin pour, but I think I'll just pass for right now. For something this with as thin as this is, it just seems like it's more trouble than it's worth. Especially what I'm using this for. But yeah, you want to. But yeah, resin pour for something like this, it just seemed like it was way too much work and bother. Something to be said for simplicity. But yeah, I'm just going along and kind of keeping the shore in mind and looking at some of the sand and cork and stuff I've laid down already. And yeah, just kind of going like that. We'll see how this turns out once it dries, but I think it'll be all right. All right, so we got this stuff. I had to add a little bit of a primary cyan, and basically it's a blue, as far as I could tell. A little darker blue to my sailing sky color to get this darker blue color. And I've just gone through and kind of followed the areas where there wasn't any sand and just made that my deeper waters, if you will. And just to show, yeah, there's probably a little depth there or whatever. Yeah, and that's one of the things my OCD kicks in. That's one of the things I'll note out on my dungeon maps is especially if there's water, how deep is the water and that type of thing. That way I can just look down and remember what that was. Now I've got this down, I'm going to go ahead and hit it with the water effects. And we're just coming in and just brushing this in. Again, it's just to give that sheen that looks like water, and try and get the brush strokes to go in the same direction if you can. Just so it doesn't look all cattywampus. And I'm just going through just like that, just kind of give it a nice coating of this stuff. Not too bad. It's still drying a little bit. Added another layer of the water effects, and then added in a layer of gloss varnish to sell the reflective qualities of water. For quick and easy dungeon terrain, this isn't too bad. If putting this on a battle mat with a small area for the scene, I think that'll work just fine. All right, well, I've rambled on enough. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Please hit the like, share, subscribe button and that notification thingy. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Y'all take care now.